I remember my high school and college graduations, patiently listening to the speaker, the president of the school handing out the diplomas, and the moment I had worked 4 years for each degree. The president of the school would walk up to the podium and say, after meeting the qualifications and requirements for the degree of business administration, I now confer this degree with all its rights and privileges. This was the moment that we wait for as graduates. Paul writes to Timothy concerning the qualifications of an elder and the qualifications of a deacon. We will read and study these qualifications when a congregation decides to add new elders and add new deacons. Paul writes, "This is a faithful saying. If a man desires the position of a bishop, he desires a good work. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, temperate, sober-minded, of good behavior, hospitable, able to teach, not given to wine, not violent, not greedy for money, but gentle, not quarrelsome, not covetous, one who rules his own house well, having his children in submission with all reverence. For if a man does not know how to rule his own house, how will he take care of the church of God? Not a novice, lest being puffed up with pride, he fall into the same condemnation as the devil. Moreover, he must have a good testimony among those who are outside, lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil." 1 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 7. Reading through the list of qualifications for an elder, each one of these would be a good qualification for each of us to possess as a member of the Lord's church. Several of these characteristics tend to go hand in hand. Blameless and good behavior tend to look at the way we handle relationships in our individual lives. If we are dealing with those who come in contact with respect and honesty, it would be hard for anyone to find fault with us. Being temperate and sober-minded tends to show how much self-control we have over our emotions. It is easy to let our emotions take control and guide our thoughts and reactions to events that happen in our lives. If we will take time and consider our reaction, whether it be a social media post, a text, an email, or a phone call, then we will handle each and every response with the utmost care and begin to be people who are temperate, sober-minded, and of good behavior. When we feel like we are working hard and spinning our wheels and not gaining traction, we find ourselves involved in arguments or maybe being extremely jealous of things that others may have. Paul refers to these two traits as quarrelsome and covetous. God continually tells us through his word that he will provide for us the things in which we need. Matthew chapter 6, verses 25 through 34. Through faith, we need to accept the fact that the Lord will take care of us, work hard to provide for our families, and trust the Lord will keep his promise of providing the things we need. In listing these characteristics, Paul leaves no stone unturned. He addresses the ability to entertain those around us while teaching the gospel. He tells Timothy an elder will be hospitable. Being hospitable is deeper than having people into our houses. It is building a reputation within our community of being kind and courteous. It is not necessarily letting life run over us, but being able to conduct business and treat those around us with dignity. Being able to teach also goes deeper than just being able to teach a Bible class. We should teach by our example and look for opportunities in everything we do to show by example how a Christian should behave and interact with people and when given the opportunity, give an answer for why we do the things we do. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. As I read through the characteristics that the elders should possess, it is hard for me not to wonder, what if everyone in the congregation made it a point to develop these characteristics in our own lives? If we as a congregation all develop these characteristics and live them out in our own lives, people would naturally be drawn to us. People want to be treated with respect. People want to be in a place of peace and contentment, and people are anxious to learn. My challenge to each of us is to take this list that Paul presents to Timothy and to develop them in our own lives and become a congregation that is known in the community as being a congregation that loves and cares for the community.